My fellow traders, I hope everybody had a good day today. Well, it was another crazy day in the market. One that finally caught up with me, but that's fine. Very valuable lesson that I can share with you guys today. But before we get to that, wisdom is given to no man until he asks for it. Your only limit to learning is your mind. That's kind of a twofold quote there. Wisdom is given to no man until he asks for it. Guys, there's too many of you that are just letting time pass and you're not seeking the knowledge that you need. It's just not going to come to you. I don't care what chat room you join, what community you join, what courses you take. It's just not going to magically jump into your head. You're going to have to activate that learning. You're going to have to work with somebody to help get you to where you need to be. And you guys have access to it. You got to take advantage of it. It's really, really sad that if you sit there for months until your subscription expires or till your membership expires, and we've never talked, you've never sent me an email, and you walk away and you still aren't profitable. There's no reason for you to leave here without you being consistently profitable. There's no reason, because all of the resources are here. You just have to take advantage of it. Your only limit to learning is your mind. And in a lot of cases, we just can't visualize somebody else helping us if we can't learn it ourselves. And we just can't visualize how somebody else is going to help us learn something that we can't learn. So our only limit to learning is our mind. It's our mindset. And we have to open it up, open ourselves up, humble ourselves. That's the big thing. One of the hardest things for me to do in the beginning of this trading deal is to humble myself and to be able to accept the fact that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I may talk a good game. I may act like it, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And until I humbled myself and allowed somebody to help me, to ask questions, to send emails, to reach out to people who knew more than me that could help me figure these things out, I didn't get anywhere. So don't waste your opportunity, guys. Don't let any opportunity you have, any learning opportunity you have, pass you by. And make sure that you activate your learning, that you're not just a passive learner. All right, so today we had the big sell-off Friday in the spot. Really volatile. That was a good day to trade the volatility index. We don't see that often. We haven't seen it since last year. And you haven't seen me trade TVIX since last year, or not really trade it, because like I said back then, when the market is volatile, we get in that volatility, we can nail it. Today, if you traded any of the volatility indexes, you would have had to nail it early and walk away. Too many people traded it early, made some profit, and then gave it all back trying to trade in this market. This is not the market for you to start looking at trading volatility indexes. You're going to have one day here and there, just like Friday. Friday was a good day to do it, but today was not. And as long as we continue to move forward, it's going to be hard. But look at today. We'll look at the daily chart in a minute, but look at how it traded today. We practically traded in a little range here of what, 1.5 or so, and maybe 2 points at the most. But this is is not, if you were trying to trade a stock, this would not be tradable price action unless you're a scalper. No, and I'm not a scalper. I don't teach scalping. Most people in the community aren't scalpers. So, to us, this is just an untradeable event. So you look at the daily chart. Here's where we were nailing the volatility indexes right here. All through here. Nailing TVX. Okay, here is when we quit. Because look at the volatility was not there. Look how tiny these candles are. This is not when you would trade any volatility. Now we did have some, right around in here, but then it slowed back down again. Even though this thing is selling off hard, you cannot trade any volatility on here. Look at the candles. They just weren't there. And look at the candle on Friday. That was a solid day. Look at the candle today. That's a no-go. So I know I had a lot of people asking me about TVIX and should we trade it, and I guess other people are talking about it, but for me, if I'm going to trade it, I'm looking for larger moves. I'm not looking for it to move 50 cents here or there. That's just not what I'm looking for. So I still say, unless we get a day, and I usually tell you when I see enough volatility to work the indexes, but I just haven't really seen it outside of Friday. So that was our day, and here's the channel. If you've been in the last several weeks in the swing session and the market analysis session that I do on Sunday, or if you watch the recording, this is the channel that we've been looking at, that I told you this thing is going to stay here. Once it breaks out the channel, then you'll start to see it grind up or sell off. Here's the line in the sand that we drew a couple weeks ago. It is having a serious time getting through this. We have not closed below this line in the sand yet. We've dipped below it once, twice, 3 times. Didn't quite get there on Friday. Then we had the little gap up this morning, but nothing really behind it. So chill on the volatility indexes. Now, that's an easy way to lose money. And if you don't believe me, ask the people who lost it today trying to chase this thing up and down. It wasn't conducive for it. If you got lucky early and you nailed it at the open and you didn't walk away, you got hurt. But believe me, I will tell you when I see it or I feel it. I will let you know when I feel the market is open for it, just like I did Friday. All right, so today is a prime example of what can happen if something extraordinary happens to work for you one time, then you look for it to happen again. Okay, Friday, if you guys saw the recap on Friday, if you haven't, you're going to want to go back and see it, because then you'll understand where I'm coming from. But for the last several weeks, I've been getting in opening range breakouts, stopping me out, and then I have to wait for it to break again, and then I get in. Not all of them do that, but the ones that do bounce and take me out, they always come back and I can get back in. But on Friday, I got hung up with the Windows reset update and all that stuff. And so, by really no fault of my own, other than I should have updated this thing over the last couple of weekends. Be quiet, dog. Over the last couple of weekends, but I didn't, so I take the blame for that. But what happened was, by the time I got logged back in, I didn't have a hard stop in. I had, got through the, pretty much just like this trade here. Got through all of the resistance, was sitting on top of it. But I was looking at all of these moving averages, everything was trending down, long term. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get out this time. I'm just going to wait for it to come back. It came back Friday. I'm thinking it's going to come back today. And that's what happens when something out of the ordinary happens to us and it works. And we think it's going to happen again. So the whole time, and you guys, if you were in chat, you heard me say, I'm looking for this thing to do just like the stock did Friday and like these other stocks have been doing the last couple of weeks. So I'm just going to hold it. And I held it and I paid the price. $485 loss. But the thing is, the bad part about it is, this was my plan. This was my plan. My plan was that if it went against me like this, to hold it, especially if we rejected the 50 up here, to hold it because we're coming back. And it didn't. So just because it did it one day doesn't mean it has to do it the other. And this was no discernible strategy that I trade. It was just hope. I hope that this thing does the same thing it did Friday. And basically that's what it was. And you can't trade that way. This was a really serious error in judgment. And that's all I could say. I can't blame anybody but me. I can't blame the market for taking it up. I can't blame people for buying it up. It's not their fault. I had no business in it. When this thing bounced here, even if I held it through this, when we started to bounce here, I should have been out of this thing and just walked away. And then I'd have been able to potentially trade something else. But I never did see anything else worth trading. We didn't have any earnings opportunities today, so it was just a messed up day. But my losses would have been in control. I haven't had a loss this bad in a couple of months, so I guess I was due. So I'm glad I got it out the way now, and I can keep on focusing on closing the week out strong. But just wanted to make sure I reiterate the lesson here. Just because something out of the ordinary worked, don't deviate from your trade plans, your strategy, your methodology. Don't deviate from what got you to where you are. When you want to make more money, you increase your position size. All of these strategies are scalable. But, don't start getting loose and allowing things like this to happen. Because it's really easy. And people that's traded 20, 30 years, it happens to them. The only difference is they realize it. They know how to correct it. I realized it. I know how to correct it. So we can move on. All right, so that was ALXN. It was the only trade I took today. And let's see. Only day trade I took today. ROKU, this is our swing trade. Right off our watch list, and we talked about this one yesterday. One of the 3 stocks on our watch list. It triggered an entry at the open. It ran up to 145. But that would have been a nice 4-point pickup here. But I need 4.5 points at least. My final target is 150 on this. So if I can get 150, I would take half off half the way there. And that's 155.50, 145.50 or better. And we just didn't get it today. We had a healthy pullback. But I'm looking for it. The market continues to push up. We should be able to hit our first target tomorrow. And again, I'll be looking for 150 out of this as a final target. And then it'll probably pull back from 150. And then I will look to get in it beyond that. So that's that. We're going to keep our eye on this. Now, if this works out, should make a pretty penny. You know, we had to cut it short last week. Didn't really make as much money as I wanted to out of that swing. Hopefully I won't have to cut this one short. We just need the market to sustain the bounce into this gap. We need it to stay, bouncing. And if it bounces in this channel here, I can trade this channel. This is a big enough channel for me to trade my swings in every time it bounces. So looking for it to continue to bounce. And if it pulls back in, it's probably going to take my trade with it. And I'm not going to sit here and be stubborn and hold it. I will dump it, lock in what I got, and then wait for it to set up again. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for me tonight. Guys, take care. I will see you first. I forgot. If you haven't seen the interview I did with William from Bear Bull Traders, I'm going to put the video link in the description part of this video so you guys can check it out. I kind of forgot to mention it earlier, but want to make sure I tell you that. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Might be interesting to you. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning.